Welcome to another Pony Express broadcast by Mark Dillon Jr. Let us start this show by bowing our heads for a quick prayer. Thank you, Lord, for another day of doing what we love, for this gathering of sim racers, and for the chance to pretend to be real race car drivers. We ask that you watch over these sim racers and their families as they gather together to enjoy the hobby of sim racing. May their spouses and children enjoy dinner, bath times, Netflix, and bedtime stories without them. May their calibration stay true, their racing rigs hold together, and their connections stay strong. May they treat each other with respect, avoid bogus black flags, and nail some green flag pit stops. May they return every night to see their friends and teammates, to click drive one more time, and to partake in the camaraderie that comes with being a part of the sim racing community. Father, we also ask that you guide and protect our veterans and their families as they make sacrifices so that we are able to spend a few hours in front of our computers trying to be like the king or the intimidator. And lastly, may we all have fun, win or lose, in your name. Amen. Now please rise and remove your hats as we join a fellow sim racer for his version of the Star Spangled Banner on guitar.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Pony Express Broadcast Network coming to you live tonight from Rolling Thunder Gaming, bringing you the Jim Beam 200 in the Joe Simpson Speed Freak series. We're at Talladega. Joining me in the booth tonight, we're going to have the 088 Tim Nosker and the 6 of Wiley Coat. Gentlemen, how you doing tonight?
Great. Thanks for having me aboard.
Doing well. Thanks for having us. Yes.
Well, we were going to have Josh Metallic, and he's feeling a little under the weather. So obviously, we hope he gets to feeling better, and definitely appreciate you guys stepping in and trying to fill his shoes tonight. He only had 2 shoes to fill, and there's 2 of you, so I think we're gonna do okay tonight.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to some good racing tonight. I see we have a stacked field, so uh, anyone of anyone in this field can win.
Now, qualifying just wrapped up. These guys have 4.5 minutes of happy hour to go. Congrats to the 90 car. Bernie Mobbs takes the pole with Chuck McClure starting on the outside line, and the viewers can see the rest of the starting lineup. We want to try to get Joe Simpson in here and see if we can't get some kind of explanation as to why his dog is named Jim Beam. Hey Joe, we got you up in the booth. You got a copy?
Yes, sir, Mr. Dillon. How you doing?
Doing good, doing good. We were wondering if now might be the time you give us a little background on the Jim Beam 200.
Yeah, I named the Jim Beam 200 after my dog. When I was trying to get a puppy and all that, I was thinking of what is the most American dog you can possibly get. And all I could think of is a bloodhound. So I found one, got him, named him Jim Beam, one of my favorite bourbons. And then about a month ago, I come home and I put my dogs in my garage because they like to tear up my house, and so I put him in the garage. And I'm looking through the window. Usually he's always jumping up, looking through the windows, like, "Oh, Daddy's home, Daddy's home." He didn't do it this time. I was like, "Something's wrong." And sorry, I had someone in my whisper. And I'm looking through the window. He's just sitting in the go-kart, the new go-kart I have for my my go-kart team. So I go to look in there, take a picture of it, put it on Facebook. He took a poop in there. Just sat steady, taking a poop. And I don't know if that's like separation anxiety for a dog or what. But less than a week later, after installing my new engine on the go-kart, less than 24 hours after that, he chewed off the pull cord, like on a lawnmower, which I need to start the go-kart. And it's nowhere to be found. So, through all the pain and suffering, and I still love this dog to death, and decided to name the race after him.
I've got to say it sounds like Jim might think you spend too much time racing.
Him and my wife both.
Now, Joe, I understand we do have several prizes up for grabs tonight. We've got a couple Dale Earnhardt Senior Wheaties boxes that Rick Moon has put up. One will go to the leader at the halfway point, which would be lap 33, and the other will go to the race winner. And I understand you have a prize for the race winner as well.
Yes, sir. In addition to Rick Moon's fabulous prizes, I decided to put up a prize, keep with the Jim Beam theme. Since I can't overnight liquor through the mail, I have some Jim Beam barbecue sauce. I'm going to go ahead and bag that up and give it to the winner. It's the bold and spicy and very, very delicious.
Well, that'll definitely be cool. I'm looking forward to seeing who brings home some prizes tonight, and I know everybody here at RTG definitely appreciates you putting on these live shows.
Yeah, man. I hope I get one of them Wheatie boxes. I mean, he said it was from '95. I was 4 years old. I mean, that'd be kind of cool history to have in your man cave or something like that.
Definitely, yeah. He's looks like he said they're unopened, still factory sealed and everything. You could probably bust one open and taste it if you want. Not so sure it'd be good.
Yeah, the guys are talking down here, saying if I win it, I should do a Facebook Live on RTG's page and yeah, try one. I don't know if it'll go through or not.
All right, well, we see happy hour's about to round up. I'll let you get back down in there and get your car fired up. And Once again, thanks for putting on the show, and good luck with your race tonight.
Thank you, Mr. Dillon. They just restarted happy hour to make it an extra 5 minutes, by the way. And I want to thank you, Pony Express Broadcasting Network. I want to thank Tim Nosker and Wiley Coate. I appreciate you guys. I know you'd rather be down here racing, but I really appreciate it. One other thing, I want to thank Operation Rock the Troops for everything they do. It's a great cause. You can go on their website, you can put in a donation. It is a great cause, guys. They're great people. And that's about it.
And I do have 2 more things. Joe, thank you for your service.
And thank you for your service, sir.
And then your dad's watching, as always. We're always glad to have your dad in the house, and he said there's a reason why he only drinks beer, and he said to tell you that you better listen to your wife.
Yeah, I'm looking at it right now. He's steady texting me, giving me tips and all that stuff. He's when I was younger, we always played NASCAR '98 on the N64, and we always raced Talladega. And he showed me how to race there on the video game and all that. It's a little different now on NR 2003. And but I've learned everything I know about super speedway racing from that one video game with him. It's the best like childhood memories I have of him. And I almost got a tear going in my eye right now, but you're probably telling me to yeah.
All right, well, yeah. Like we said, we appreciate everything, and definitely, you should definitely listen to your dad and your wife, and like I said, good luck with your race tonight.
Thank you, sir.
Yep, Joe, keep the rubber side down and keep those fenders clean so you can be around at the end there.
Yeah, hopefully I have better luck than last broadcast race.
Well, you started off
Good
pretty
luck.
well. You got your qualifyings in the top 5. You had a good turn there, so you should have a good advantage for yourself.
All right, so there you go. That's Joe Simpson, sponsor of the Speed Freaks series this season. Once again, if you're just tuning in, we are live from Talladega. We're going to be running 66 laps tonight in the Jim Beam 200. I've got Tim Nosker and Wiley Coate in the booth with me tonight. Looks like we're going to have a pretty good-sized field.
Yeah, it's a good looking field.
Looks like what, 27 cars, I think.
Yep.
Yeah. There's some hardcore super speedway guys in here, so hopefully go get a lot of green flag racing, and hopefully one of these guys can bring home a trophy and get a nice prize at the end.
Well, you race here in the Tally Challenge Thursday nights. We're kind of in your house tonight. We're at Tally, and a lot of these guys race on Thursday nights with you as well. So, if you had to go out on a limb and pick one of these guys to pull out a win tonight, who are you pulling for?
Well, there's a handful of guys that really excel at this kind of racing. I'm torn between Terry Bauman, Brian Schilling, or Chuck McClure, but if I had to go out on a limb, I would definitely say Chuck McClure, and that's not really going out on a limb too much.
And what about you, Wiley? You got a pick for tonight?
Interesting question, and I'm with Tim on this. There's multiple choices, but it seems like Brian Schilling, the number 4, has had some luck going with him this season, so I think I'd put my my nickel down on him.
All right, and I'm gonna go with Wiley was a Marine, so thanks to Wiley for his service. I was in the Army, and so I'm gonna go with the Army car, the number 14 of Brian Hogue for the win tonight.
Brian's fast. I mean, that's a good pick. I actually thought about picking the Nature Boy Donnie Garrett, but his head's already a little bit too big, so we don't want to swell his head up anymore.
Yeah, and you definitely don't want to be responsible for putting bad juju on Donnie Garrett. And at one point in time, I picked Rick Moon to win a broadcast race, like 5 races in a row, and he never did. So I decided I won't pick Rick Moon anymore because I would really like to see him get a TV win. So I stopped picking Rick.
Well, Rick's fast. I mean, he's another guy that has potential to work his way up through the field. So, like I said, I mean, you can look at almost every one of these drivers and pick a winner out of any of them. So it's the guy that's going to play it safe, the guy that probably stays on the low side part of the race, and can be there at the end. Keep it clean. That's a smart play.
Talladega also brings the bit of luck. You got to have that little bit of luck at some point in this race to make it through, or make the right choice, or do the right thing. That's the only thing that happens here, and that's why so many of these drivers can really compete and be there at the end.
And obviously, like we said, you've run a ton of laps at Talladega. Tim, what are we going to be looking at for fuel mileage tonight?
Initially, we're probably looking at about 19 to 20 laps on a tank of fuel. There are some guys that excel at saving gas. So if we get a long green flag run and get that first green flag pit stop, look for some guys to drop back into the draft and maybe save a little fuel and see if they can't eke out a win on gas. But when we get 3 wide, it's all bets are off. And that looming potential for the big one is always there. But I think we're looking about 20 laps probably on a tank.
All right, so we've got cars lined up on pit road. Drivers are climbing into their cars, getting ready to roll off here.
Drivers, start your engines!
Real quick points update before we start this race. Brian Schilling is the points leader coming into the night, coming off of back-to-back wins. He is 31 points ahead of Donnie Garrett, and then Sean Lockyer is 3 points behind Donnie. So those are your top 3 coming into the night.
Yeah, from what I understand, Brian's been practically bulletproof this season. So some of those other guys are gonna probably, it's kind of stinks to be the point leader, because you'll find that guys don't want to work with you because you can't gain points on a guy if you're pushing him. So it's a tough spot to be in, but he's had a good run of luck here lately.
And what are the odds on the boss man in that 3 car pulling out a victory tonight?
Bones is an incredible super speedway racer, but he tends to like to run the high side, and when trouble happens, all those cars wash up the track. He sometimes finds himself in bad spots, but don't take him lightly. He definitely likes to race it up, and he can get out front.
We obviously want to give a shout out to Bones and Terry Bowman and Sean Prime, the owners here at RTG, for allowing all of us to come over here and do this. And here we go. The pace car is going to pull off the track, and we're going to get this thing under green. Once again, it will be the 90 of Bernie Mobbs leading us, with Chuck McClure on the outside line. And green flag, we are off. Rick Moon giving Bernie Mobbs a push already.
Yeah, the Highline's in a little bit of trouble. There was a gap behind Dave Cannon and Jeff Travello, and that's letting that inside line push forward.
And so we will see here is Chuck McClure making a run on the Highline. Who will lead the first lap of this race? Chuck McClure, like you said, he's a super speedway ace.
Yeah, I've run a lot of laps pushing Chuck, and being pushed by Chuck, and I'll tell you what, he knows the right spot to put a car, and he can see the wind. He knows exactly where the draft is going and which line is moving and not moving. He's one of the best.
And there you go. Bernie Mobbs will be credited with a bonus point for leading the first lap.
About 10 rows back, they'd taken it 3 wide. I see Rusty back there. He's leading that line. I'm trying to see who he's getting. Looks like he's getting a push from our local highway patrolman, Hank Middleton. They've got a 4-car draft going there. And Dave Earlywine just cut up and joined them. So they stay tight. They can get up to the front.
So there you go. We're only on lap 3, but these guys are 3 wide through half of the pack. They know they've only got. It's essentially like the new Cup format tonight. We've got a 33 lap segment where we're gonna give out a prize, and so these guys are. You're gonna not see any riding around tonight. These guys want to win one of those Dale Earnhardt Wheaties boxes. Yeah, in case you missed it in the opening, what we're looking at tonight is the leader at the end of lap 33 will be taking home one of 2 Wheaties boxes, 1995 Dale Earnhardt Wheaties boxes that are still factory sealed, have never been opened. And the other of those Wheaties boxes will go to the race winner, along with some Jim Beam barbecue sauce from Joe Simpson.
You know, one driver I haven't talked about yet is Grant Wesley. He's relatively new to RTG, but he's won some races already. He's in that Outlaw Chevy, number 26. He seems to run pretty well too, so you might want to keep an eye on him.
He's been winning some dirt races as well on Sunday nights. I know just this past Sunday he dominated the race and took home another victory.
Yeah, he's been real strong. But in every super speedway race, you have to have friends and luck, and you almost need both of them to be able to pull off a win.
You know, speaking of Talladega, you guys run the Tally Challenge. Tell me about the. Would you call it the meltdown when you came into the final race and lost it?
Oh, me? Yeah, that was. Thanks for bringing that up. Yeah, I went in with a 28-point lead in the final race of the season, and yeah, things just went terribly wrong, and I think I lost by 4 points. So, you know, anything can happen, and you know, no point lead is safe, that's for sure. One tidbit I'd like to throw out there, though, I am the defending champion of this series. Unfortunately, I couldn't commit to every race this season, so I ended up not running. But yeah, this is similar to the Tally Challenge. A lot of the same drivers, and I tell you, the talent in this field is just phenomenal. You can see when we're pretty wide, and everybody's just holding the square line.
there you have it. Even though Brian Schilling has a 31-point lead, still half a season to go, maybe a little less than half, but a lot of races to go, and definitely, as we see, Brian is actually running back in 23rd right now.
Everybody was able to.
Yeah, that top line seems to be dissolving a little bit. It's lost its momentum. If you can't maintain about 4 or 5 cars up in that high line, it's not going to move anywhere, and the middle line will dominate that series, you know.
So far, we see Bernie Mobbs, Rick Moon, and Chris Hart just really doing a great job on the low line. Chuck McClure not able to get to the front of this field yet.
No, if you look, the first 4 cars are really tight and really smooth going through, and that just makes it so much more dominating in the low line.
We see Brian Ordo and Jim Glaude down there on the low line. The Nature Boy Donnie Garrett right behind them.
Another interesting tidbit here. Brian Ordo, Wiley, and myself came from a league way back in the day. We probably run more laps together than anyone else in the series. Wayne is a great speedway driver, and he's always got a chance when he's out there.
So it looks like that scrape with the wall has cost Dave Earlywine. He has lost the draft and has fallen a few seconds back. We'll have to see if he's able to recover from that. We see David Lawson now leading that third line.
Carson
103 of Carson.
Go ahead.
And we see Chris Hart now has actually jumped up to the high line, jumped in front of Chuck McClure. We'll see if Chris Hart's able to get that high line going and lead a lap. He's got a good run. Little bobble there from Bernie Mobbs. That's going to really cost the low line. And now here comes Chuck McClure trying to jump to the low line. He's not going to let Chris Hart lead this lap.
Meanwhile, the high line's starting to form up again. It's got 4 or 5 coming in line and starting to creep up.
And Chris Hart was able to battle back and lead that lap.
Yeah, that third line's coming. Carson Krenz is leading that line, and he's being pushed by Bob Simonera, who is our Thursday night Tally Challenge points leader. So we definitely know he knows his way around this track.
We see the 69 Terry Bowman has now come into the picture. He's 5th car in the middle lane there.
Mark's number 14 and the 24 seem to have it locked together pretty well there in that middle line.
We saw the field just went by Dave Earlywine on the apron there. He has gone a lap down.
He probably got some damage. He popped up onto that wall pretty good, so he may have went in and got the damage fixed and short pit. He'll be eligible for the lucky dog.
And here we go, Chuck McClure with a big run. Can he finally lead a lap?
Well, the problem with being in that second line is if that third line gets up close to the front of that line, it'll actually suck that middle line back. The draft will just take over and pull that line back. So these guys don't want to see that third line get up to the front.
And there we go, Chuck McClure finally earns his bonus point tonight. He leads lap number 12. Chuck came into the night 5th in points, 44 out. So he's still certainly within reach.
The whole field is 3 wide and 10 cars deep. Great racing.
13 laps into the 66 lap event, and we have been 3 wide a majority of the race. We are still caution free, and we're probably within 5 laps of seeing some green flag pit stops.
You know that 103 person is about to start there. You see that middle line starting to drop back. They're about to circle. Go back.
Carson Kranz, Bob Seminara, they've really got that high line working now. They have passed the middle line.
Yeah, see, that's what he was referring to. It just really creates a vacuum in there with both drafts from the top line and the bottom line. Just really pushes that middle line back. And I've been sitting at the end of that line in the middle, and it's like you're going 10 miles an hour slower than everybody else.
Not bad contact between go out and start. Look like contact coming out of the tribal.
And now that second line is officially gone. Chris Hart is there all by himself, but the low line is just dominating everybody else trying to get up in that high line.
Look back, Chris Hart tried to squeeze in front, and he did. Squeeze in front of something and try to do a little damage control there.
If you're wondering where our points leader is, he's still safely riding around in the back, 23rd place right now.
Unless everybody seems to be migrating down to the bottom, that's a good indicator that they're trying to prepare for pit stops.
So any lap now, we're going to see these guys try to head down pit road for a green flag pit stop. It's going to be interesting to see how many come at the same time, and if these guys are able to pull it off successfully, get 10-15 cars onto pit road without hitting each other.
Well, there's a couple different strategies that you could play here. You could short pit with a small group of cars and reduce your chances of having an incident entering the pits. Or you can run this thing all the way out and pit with a big pack and hope it goes driven all the way and maybe catch a can and a half at the end of the race.
We see the field is quickly closing in on Dave Earlywine, about to put him a second lap down.
Yeah, it's unfortunate to see Dave has some bad luck there. He's one of the older members here at RTG, but that doesn't mean he's not fast, and he's normally right up front. But getting a little bit of bad luck is a shame.
Here comes Brian Hogue looking outside. He must be staying out, and these front 5 must be signaling that they're going to pit.
We should get some takers this time by.
Here comes Donnie Garrett, Rick Moon, Bernie Mobbs, Chuck McClure, Bob Seminara, Richard Martin, Cy Jones. About 8 cars head down pit road, and they all do it cleanly.
Yeah, everybody made a great entry in the pit road there.
So Brian Ordo at the point of the line right now. Let's see if the second pack of cars can make it in cleanly.
I'll tell you what, look for that 69 to try to squeeze one more lap out of this tank. Yes, he's a master at saving fuel on super speedways, and he may be able to squeak one more lap out. I'd bet he does.
And here we go, Chris Hart. Brian Ordo actually stayed out too.
Here we go. We got
Joe Simpson, Hank Middleton get together. David
Another
Gannon
Bob
narrowly
Caution.
avoids.
no contact on the wall or anything else.
Caution comes out when Hank Middleton actually shot back up onto the track.
As late as that caution came out, I would assume that these guys made it onto pit road. If they weren't over that commitment line before the caution came out, they'll be penalized and have to start tail end of the line.
And I think the 99 did it just the drive-through, so he might have been caught.
We see the 71, 69, 80, 31. Handful of cars who have not pitted. They decided they were going to push it another lap. And then we know obviously that first group of cars who did pit, obviously they already pitted, so they should presumably start at the front of this pack once this all cycles through. Looks like Lucky Dog, I believe, would be the 102 of Rusty Little. So we're going to go ahead and roll over to the caution rewind screen, go back and see what happened there between Joe Simpson and Hank Middleton.
Well, it looks like back from the dead, we have Josh Metallic is going to join us here for a while in the booth.
And watching this replay
And
here,
actually-
it looks like the two just slowed down a little more than the 141, and the 141 made contact there.
Yeah, the 2 doesn't seem to have any damage, and I don't think the 141 did either. But so they both might have escaped that barely.
Hard telling what happened there. Obviously, we'll leave that up to the admins to make a decision on that post-race. But, you know, just the 141 and the 2 are the 2 cars who were involved in that. And like you saw, the 2 did come back up onto the track, which actually brought out the yellow flag. And first caution of the night here on lap 19 of 66. Oh, and there's Josh Metallic. Josh, how you doing? Any better?
Yes, doing much better. I won't go into any more detail than that, but I'm here and happy to help and happy to watch a good race.
It's been a pretty good one so far. We were halfway through our first round of green flag pit stops when we got our first caution.
Yeah, I hope I didn't bring bad luck with me. I You see, I got on here and they went straight to yellow right away, but hopefully they get back to green here and get some green flag pit stops in again.
And so it looks like when we do go back to green, it's going to be about an 8-lap shootout for one of these Dale Earnhardt cereal boxes. The leader at the end of lap 33 will take home one of these Dale Earnhardt Wheaties boxes, courtesy of Rick Moon. Want to give a quick shout out to Race LM servers while we're under caution. Thanks to them for providing a good quality product for all of us sim racers to use.
I second that. Watch when we go back green. I noticed that a handful of drivers went off. Chuck including one of them, burning knobs. It'll be fun to see if those guys can work their way back up through the field, because it's a tough call. How often?
It looks like Chris Hart is going to be your race leader. I believe Rusty Little and Dwight York are going to restart at the tail end of the lead lap. And Dave Earlywine looks to have gotten one of his laps back. Or there he goes now. Dave Earlywine will get one of his laps back. Rusty Little and Dwight York take the wave around. That'll put them back on the lead lap. Chris Hart will be your race leader, followed by Brian Schilling. We'll restart on the outside, your points leader.
And while that's going on too, I see Terry Bauman just pitted, the Fuel Master King. We're at about 43, 44 laps. We may have an extra lap or two, and if he can save the next 4 laps, he may be able to stretch it to one more pit stop, whereas all these guys are guaranteed at least 2.
Now, you guys obviously run a lot of laps here at Talladega. Is it possible, if we stay green the rest of the way, is it possible for Terry Bowman to go 22 laps on a tank?
You get about 20. If you're 21, I don't know if I've seen 22. If there's someone that could do it, Terry would be the guy. If you get a yellow fall the right way, I think some of these guys are still going to have to do 2 no matter what, but I'm sure he's looking at it, right in the back, using the maximum effect of the draft from the back there, and we'll see how much he can save. It's a draft, but he's done it plenty of times before where I thought no one would have a chance to go that far, and I ran out of fuel, pitted, and he went off for the win at, half throttle. So possible, unlikely, but possible.
All right, here we go. Pace car pulls off, heads down pit road. Chris Hart and Brian Schilling will lead us back to the green flag. You got Brian Hogan, Grant Wesley starting on the second row, and Donnie Garrett, Bob Seminara in the third row.
Yeah, I apologize, guys, if my mic's breaking up here. Just dealing with some February tornadoes and thunderstorms.
And make 2 of us tonight.
Great start by the 24 there. Chris Hart gets a good jump. Brian Hogue really pushing him. But here comes Grant Wesley and Brian Schilling on the high line now, as well as Bob Seminara. Those 3 are hooked up.
Bob's a real strong super speedway driver. Grant's strong everywhere I've seen him run. Schilling can hold a straight line as good as anybody, so that outside line is going to be charging here real quick.
Yes, that's the high line.
And yeah, there's Hank Middleton, Chuck McClure, Sean Lockyer trying to form up that third line. Not sure what happened to Chuck. He restarted back in about 17th after those pit stops.
He topped off late. He's great at stretching fuel line. he may be thinking he can get less gas at the end there.
Well, and the other thing is too, if it goes green and everyone has to do 2 stops, you may have a 2-can stop and a half a can, whereas some of these guys might be 2 cans and then a splash, and that's 3-4 seconds difference on pit road. But as you can see how many seconds it is from the first guy to the 20th guy, that's the difference between first and last in the draft.
So far, Chris Hart still your leader. That low line really starting to pull ahead. Brian Hogue, Donnie Garrett doing a great job of pushing. We are quickly closing in on lap 33, and you could call it the end of segment 1. We're going to give a prize away to whoever leads that lap. Here comes Rick Moon. Rick Moon pulls out, moves up to the second line. Perhaps Rick Moon trying to win his own cereal box. And now Donnie Garrett jumps in front of him.
It is a great marketing tool. Offer a prize and then win it.
I sponsored a super speedway series somewhere else a couple years ago, and I ended up winning the championship. And I didn't buy myself a trophy. The next season, when somebody else won and I bought them a trophy, at that point in time I felt like it was okay to order myself a trophy.
Yeah, it would be an awkward award ceremony handing it off to yourself.
Exactly. And now Brian Hogue leading that second line. Donnie Garrett decided to get back in the low line.
And if you notice, the 17 of Chuck McClure, he's already made his way up in the top 10.
And we see Grant Wesley, Bob Seminara are now in that third line. Here comes the 31 of Jerry Walters on the low line, 5th car back. Rick Moon jumps down there in front of him. That's going to allow Brian Schilling and Chuck McClure to pull up behind Brian Hogue. Those 3 cars spent all of practice working together. I spent a lot of time watching Schilling, Hogue, and McClure practice. I think that's Dave Earlyline, or was that Carson Krenz?
That's Carson Krenz.
And we stay green as that was on the apron. Brian Ordo now moves up to 3rd place.
It looks like Carson got a bad bump from 71. Tough to tell if Carson was checking up or if Ordo had a run, but looked like those two connected and it didn't go very well for Carson there.
Yeah, he did a quick 360, grabbed the gear, and kept her going. Unfortunately, he's out of the draft.
That low line still really pulling away. Brian Hogue now kind of getting sucked into that Bermuda Triangle that is the middle line.
Ooh, that low line's making a little nervous there. I didn't mean to interrupt you, but 72 back onto someone. And Cyber Jones in the 7, he's running that low line, and as the top lanes start to fade back, he's ready to crack the top 10 here.
A lot of shuffling going on right now, as these guys know they have 3 laps until somebody wins a cereal box. Not just any cereal box, of course. You know, it's a 1995 Wheaties Intimidator box.
Well, if they don't treat the awards and stages the way NASCAR drivers did this weekend.
Looks like Joe Simpson and Hank Middleton touch again.
Yeah.
That was a great save.
Looks like Hank may have scraped the wall. It was very close.
Yeah, Joe kind of caught a break there. There was no one directly underneath him. He got spun or turned down into that middle line, but there was no one there, so averted caution there.
And that's the end of lap 30. Here we go, 3 laps until the end of segment 1, the halfway point. The leader of lap 33 will get one of those boxes, but he does not get to choose which one. The winner of the race actually gets to choose which one he wants, and and then the lap 33 leader will take the other one. Got Brian Hogue, Grant Wesley, Bob Seminara still trying to work that second line.
But the 24 and the 77 and 71 there up front, they've been working real well, staying smooth and working their way through.
You know, Donnie Garrett in that 77, he's always telling me that he knows what he's doing on a super speedway, so he must mean it.
Oh, he does. He's always up there in the top 5, top 10. He's always pushing on the front.
Look for that high line to get a run. They got broke up there, and those three on the top are real tight.
That low lane kind of split up a little bit, and you got the high line starting to look like they're in a better line than the inside. They're making big progress right now.
And here we go. This is the start of lap 33. We will see who is leading at the end of this lap. Brian Hogue is there on the high line. Both of these lines, you know, too wide through the majority of the field. And they are really locked together. Brian Hogue with a great run down the backstretch.
It'll be a photo finish for the prize.
Sure will.
Chris Hart with the shorter way around the track, though. Here comes Brian Hogue.
Who's going to do it?
And Brian Hogue.
Hogue did.
Brian Hogue takes segment 1. That's the halfway point. Brian Hogue will be taking home one of those Dale Earnhardt Wheaties boxes, courtesy of Rick Moon. Now, since we've gotten that over with, these guys are still green flag racing. Got a little bit of time before we get to green flag pit stops. It's time for our Veterans Tribute here at Pony Express Broadcast Network, something we always do around the midpoint of the race. Tonight we're going to stick with the dog theme, since this is the Jim Beam 200 in honor of Joe Simpson's dog. And we are going to roll this clip here for a couple minutes and pay tribute to the military working dogs out there. And but we also want to say, you know, obviously thank you to all of the veterans out there, and we hope you enjoy this tribute. Brian Hogue, Chris Hart still battling that out for the lead. That was our veterans tribute, paying tribute to the military dogs tonight as we are running the Jim Beam 200 here live at Talladega. Chris Hart now jumps down in front of Brian Hogue and takes point on that low line. Bob Seminara leading the high line.
We're about 2 or 3 laps from another pit stop here, so that could spread the field out if we get a clean flag pit stop.
While we were away at break, I was watching the 17, the 18, and the 4. They had kind of just been laying in the back of the field here. I can see them conserving some fuel and trying to turn some laps.
We've got a quick viewer tip from Joe Simpson's father. He wanted to let us know that if you've never wrecked, you've never pushed it hard enough. And here we go, Donnie Garrett by himself, first car down pit road.
That takes some guts.
That's kind of a surprising move, yes.
Looks like Bernie Mobb's about to go a lap down here.
Well, he's got some others with him. He's got the 43 and I think the 95's in there.
Currently we have 22 cars on the lead lap. Rusty Little about to go a lap down as well. That'll put 21 cars on the lead lap. Still all 27 cars running that started this race, so just a handful who are 1 lap down, and they will be battling for the lucky dog should we receive another caution. And now here it comes. Uh-oh, big wreck.
There we go.
Oh no, that caught up Terry Bowman, Grant Wesley, Chuck McClure, Brian Hogue. Terry Bowman spins back up on the track. We're still green, still green.
Terry's got some damage here.
Terry's got some heavy damage. He went flying. And we stay green. There was no traffic when Terry Bowman spun back up on the track. So that's going to make it even more painful for the guys involved in that. They will not get a caution. Now I feel bad for picking Brian Hogue.
I can't believe the yellow didn't come out for that.
Here comes Joe Simpson, Sean Lockyer, Brian Schilling, Jerry Walters, Jeff Crivello, David Lawson, all heading down pit road.
Much cleaner.
Boy, Brian Hogue got a big piece of that too. And Grant Wesley.
Maybe that's Donnie Garrett's strategy of pitting alone was to avoid that type of situation. We see the leaders
he was drafting with, he might be okay.
The leaders right now going by Donnie Garrett. It looks like he's going to be able to catch their draft though. The 102, Rusty Little blinking.
You know, one driver we haven't mentioned too much about is Richard Martin, DMAR. He's great at super speedway racing, so he may be a surprise winner tonight.
He's leading the 4-pack and down the backstretch. I think they're all going to be able to get together here after a lap or two.
Looks like they're going to go right by Chris Hart. About 5 or 6 cars were negatively affected on that pit road incident that did not bring out a caution. That is really going to shake up the field here. I think we might be done with 25 car packs.
Yeah, they're spread out now.
There'll be a couple of these smaller groups all getting up all together and joining up. It won't take long.
And so right now we have 24, 25 laps to go. There is not a car on the track that can make it to the finish. So we will see everybody attempt one more stop.
Well, that second 4-car pack is turned into a 7-car pack now. So look for them to pull their way right back up to the front.
Yeah, it looks like Jeff Crivello, David Lawson, Joe Simpson, all real good stops, but you got the next 11 cars within 3 seconds. They're all lined up, ready to just draft right on by him here. They're probably into turn 3.
So here we go. Right now, looks like we are going to have about a 15-car pack if these guys all tighten up. Jeff Corello is your leader. Great recovery from the 141 though. That early pit road incident. He's up there in 3rd place now. Finally getting some TV time for the Joe Simpson Racing Mustang.
Looks like Trooper Hank Middleton's jumping up on the high side. He's not content to ride in line there. And on a side note, he's got to have the ugliest car I've ever seen in my life.
Well, him and Jeff Corello have very similar colors.
Yeah, they're both ugly.
Yeah.
Yeah, 60s left them behind.
But yeah, you've got the 4-car Brian Schilling, your points leader. Despite all the action we've seen tonight, he's up there in 2nd place. Like you said, he's just been indestructible so far this season.
I have my own.
Oh!
I
Brian
shouldn't.
Schilling into the wall and into the 71.
I shouldn't
You
have
put
said
the
that.
hex on him.
He's not going to be happy about that.
Runners are pretty well damaged.
There was at least 10, 12 cars involved in that one.
It looks like the 14 and the 003 of Dave Cannon will be the lucky dogs.
We're going to head over to the caution rewind screen, go back and see if that was me or if something else caused that caution. And here we go. We're looking at Brian Schilling's car here. Oh, that is weird.
So he wasn't quite lined up and he gave a bump to the 2 car and it sent him right off into the wall.
You know, usually, at least in my experience, it's usually the guy who gets clipped in the rear bumper who gets the bad end of that one. But in this case, it was Brian Schilling touched with his front bumper and got the worst.
Yeah, they're just trying to help each other out, and it went bad in a real bad way.
Take one more look at this here. The Brian Ordo involved. Dave Earlywine, Joe Simpson, David Lawson. Bones had a little piece there at the end. A lot, yeah, that's heavy damage for our points leader in the number 4 car. Like we talked about with Tim earlier in the race, anything can happen in these super speedway races, and there's still a lot of races left. And as you see tonight, we expect somebody's going to try and capitalize on Brian Schilling's misfortunes and gain a lot of points.
Well, Brian Hogue did a heck of a job driving through that. Looks like about half, 7 or 8 of those guys actually did get through unscathed. So Looked pretty ugly on the live feed, but several of these guys did a pretty good job avoiding any damage.
That's going to be a huge break for the 17 of Chuck McClure, the 26 of Grant Wesley, and Terry Bauman. He's got damage. I'm not sure how fast he's going to be in the draft, but a lot of those guys are going to get caught back up and be able to contend for the win again.
Yeah, instead of 14, you got about 22, maybe 24 line up together, and they're done with pitting once this yellow's done. There's no more fuel strategy or any of that. It's just 15 lap run to the finish.
Now, I don't know if my game is glitching or if Donnie Garrett has heavy damage to the rear of his car.
Yeah, it looks pretty good from my view.
Have you guys ever seen that, where one car will get rear end damage and for some reason your game glitches and it looks like everybody has it?
Some mods
previous
are prone
mod
to that.
had that pretty bad. I can't remember what that was.
And now it looks like, it's flashing back and forth. 1 second he has damage, 1 second he doesn't.
Yeah, we like to refer to that as sympathy damage.
So as of right now, we've got the two ugliest paint jobs in sim racing leading the field.
We got the looks like the 90 of Bertie Moms and the 99 of Doug Woolley, I assume, are the lucky dogs. Although it could be, actually, I think they're going to do the wave around. And
Yeah, I think the 14 then.
003.
Yeah.
Brian Hogan, Dave Cannon, taking the lucky dogs, and those two guys, other two guys, taking the wave around. Which will put us up to 23 on the lead lap again.
It's been a great race. Only 2 cautions tonight. We've seen green flag pit stops. All 27 cars that started are still running. No one's more than a lap down, and we're probably only going to have about 4 lappers here as we restart with about 17 to go.
Yeah, and they do lucky dogs all the way to the very end. So if they want them up again before the finish, Rick Moon, Dave Earlywine, Pribnow, Dwight York, they have a chance to still get on the lead lap and still get a better finish than where they're at now.
Now, do they run moderate damage in this series?
They are running moderate tonight. I think they usually run realistic on Tuesdays. So some of those hard hits you've seen, unless your motor's damaged, then if you got someone behind you, you can still be competitive even with the nasty wrecks they've had. So normally it's realistic, but looks like moderate's on for tonight.
And what do you guys run on Thursdays?
We run moderate as well on Thursdays. All the other series pretty much run realistic. But yeah, Thursdays is always on the moderate damage.
And I understand Thursday nights you guys have been very close to having knockout qualifying several times this season.
Yeah, we've probably 2/3 of the races have had knockout qualifying. We've had a couple nights where we were 1 or 2 over and someone offered to step aside and let a newer guy run. We're right at that mark, which is a good place to be. We don't really want to send anybody home. It really stinks that people show up and support you, and then you have to tell them, they didn't make the race. So we can fit 41, and that's pretty much where we've been most of the season so far.
And I understand the 712 of Bob Seminara is currently leading that series.
Bob's leading the series. He's got a pretty good lead, and then there's a whole mess behind him, about 20 points back. And the series is doing something new after 10 races. We're resetting the points, kind of like they did with the NASCAR chase system. So he has no wins. There's a couple guys in the top 10 that do have wins, and when that points reset happens, he's going to be actually behind them, and it'll just be a 5-race run to the finish points-wise there. So he's good now, but it's all going to go away in about 3 races, and we'll do a reset.
And here we go. Green flag, Jeff Crivello, Hank Middleton. Not a good start for Richard Martin there. Donnie Garrett with a good push on Jeff Crivello, though. That's really going to hurt Hank Middleton on the high line without any help.
Yeah, they'll catch up to him about the entrance at turn 3, but it'll all settle out. But
we see Sean Lockyer up there in 3rd place. He's 3rd place in the points. David Lawson in 4th. He's 4th place in the points. And Chuck McClure right there as well. He's 5th in the points coming in tonight. And of course Donnie Garrett up there in second in the points. You see why those guys are 2 through 5 in the points, as they are consistently turning in top 5s.
You know, one thing I noticed, Terry Bowman is sporting some damage, and he's still fast in the draft. So looks like he's going to be competitive for the rest of the race.
As long as he's got someone behind him, he should be fine. I don't know if he's going to be pushing anybody, but he's definitely able to keep up with the leaders.
And so here we go. Coming to the line, it's going to be 15 laps to go. Looks like Jim Glaude trying to form that 3rd line, thinking about it.
Yeah, they're going to need a lot more help. That middle lane's doing its best to keep up, making the 3rd line's just going to pull them all back right now.
looks like everything's getting just that much tighter, than coiling up like a snake ready for the end. And let's see who comes out on top.
Now it looks like Rick Moon and Chris Hart forming up that 3rd line.
Yeah, they may get some more takers too.
Looks like Brian
Terry
Hogue
Bauman's
jumps up
beat-up
there.
machine looks like it came from a demo derby. He's cracking the top 10 right now.
Jerry Walters in that 31 up there in the top 5 for the first time tonight.
Looks like Jim Glaude's getting some help there now. The 3rd line's starting to move up.
Oh man, Joe's dad just realized that Joe Simpson in the race is running a Mustang, and he is not happy about it. He said we're a Chevy family, and he just realized that Joe's in a Mustang out there. He said that's the reason for his bad luck, and he shouldn't have switched.
I'm curious to know if that means he's not rooting for him anymore.
Well, I don't know, but he said tell Cam we love her. So I'm gonna assume that's Joe's wife.
Joe's
Moved
not
by
in a bad
Richard
spot.
Martin.
That low line's moving again. He's about 8th or 9th, and yeah, they're They're clear almost to that third lane, and middle lane's fading too.
Yeah, Hank seems to be doing his best to keep the third and middle lane behind him. He keeps on moving back and forth, trying to keep everybody right tucked in.
And here we go. Here is that Joe Simpson Racing Mustang now, back up into the top 5. We'll see if that motor can hold together, being a Ford.
Third line's getting organized. Look for them to push up to the front.
And here comes David Lawson jumping up into the high line.
Oh, David Lawson got shuffled out there.
Yes, he did. Meanwhile, these top 5 and top Seminara and the 115 and the 77 and the 80, they're all lined up, moving along.
Well, I think it's safe to say that we all know Donnie's not content running second. So look for him to make a move here within the last 5 laps.
Wrecking.
Wrecking in the back.
Here we go, 10 laps to go, and the caution is out. Plenty of time for us to go back to green flag racing, though.
And you'll add now Wayne Pribnow and Rick Moon to the lead lap cars, and they're both in that draft, so they might actually be, well, as soon as I say that, Wayne gets spun, so he'll need tires. Looks like no damage, but they both seem to have undamaged cars. They may be able to make some moves here in the last 5 or 6 laps. If it gets crazy, who knows where they end up.
We're actually going to stay here with the lead pack. Instead of doing the caution rewind, we're gonna talk to one of these drivers under this caution. Who would you guys like to hear from here?
Your choice. Looks like Brian Schilling's done for the night.
Well, that's not good. Let's there's always some good personality to come out of that 77, so we'll get him up in here. He's running second. Hey, Donnie Garrett, it's Mark and Tim and Josh and Wiley up in the booth. You got a copy?
I got you guys. What's going on?
Oh, we're just up here in the booth talking about that 77 Dodge that you're running out there. We see you're in P2, and we were just talking about, we know you're not content in P2.
Definitely not. I'm just sitting here biding my time and trying to be patient, which is hard for me. But I'm watching these 2 lines coming, and it seems like when the 2 lines get coming, they're bogging themselves down, and then the bottom line takes back over. So I'm going to be probably forced to be up on the high side. That's kind of where I want to be right at this moment with a few laps to go here. I think that's a good spot for me. If Crivello's smart, he'll take that top side. But I don't know. We'll see.
Have you made any deals with anybody?
Say again, Tim?
Have you made any deals? Have you talked to any of the guys behind you? Are they going to pull out with you?
No, I don't really work with a lot of these guys that are right behind me, and so I'm just kind of trying to watch the lines and see what's going on, and just see what's the best line to go, where the energy's at, and try to stick with it and roll.
10-4.
Been a great race though. It's been a lot of green flags, and it just shows you what this Tuesday series is made of. We do a great job over here, and I think it's going to be a barn burner here for this finish.
Now, just to let you know, Donnie, none of us picked you to win, so you're safe.
That ain't right.
You're safe from the voodoo.
Well, I considered picking you, Donnie, but I know you already have kind of a swelled up head, maybe a big ego, so I didn't want you to split your ball cap there.
There you go.
Donnie should be thanking this, because that's as good as the Madden cover curse.
It's going to be when the caution comes out. It's going to probably be a race back. It's going to get wild up towards the front, and I like to have this high line. You guys know me; I'm a bottom feeder, but with once I get to that last pit stop and we got a few laps to go. I like that outside, but I'm going to have to unfortunately dump. I'll have to dump whoever's behind me probably, but I don't know. We got a lot of different ones up here racing tonight towards the front that aren't normally up here. So I'm proud of these guys, and you don't know what they're going to do, but we're gonna hold on, and you might see me come across the line. I might be in the air, but I hope you have them first.
Now, Donnie, keep in mind, the points leader, Brian Schilling, he's had a rough night, and so you're in prime position to gain a lot of points.
Yeah, I'm in second. I know that. I just heard him say he blew up, and that's important. I am a points racer, and I don't want to do anything stupid. I'm sitting in second. If I finish in the top 5, that's a win. I mean, I'm going to pick up 15, 20, 30, whatever it is, positions on him tonight, and that's important. That's important down the road, and I can take the chance and go for the win, and maybe end up right there beside him. So yeah, I'd rather have a 5th and then take a shot at the win and wreck, and next thing you know, damn, I'm back there with him. So I hate it for Brian. I like racing him, and we're gonna try to get this win though. I'm a racer. I want to win.
You want one of those Dale Earnhardt Wheaties boxes.
Darn right.
All right, Donnie, we'll let you get back there and get in your car as we're about to go back to green flag racing, and good luck for you.
All right, thanks guys, and thanks Josh
Good luck,
and Tim
Donnie.
for jumping in there tonight and broadcasting for us, and we appreciate it. Yeah, appreciate it, Tim, and I can promise you one thing: I'll make it exciting.
All right. Woo!
Woo!
All right, there you have it, the Nature Boy, Donnie Garrett, in that number 77 Monster Energy Dodge.
Now, he forgot to thank Wiley, so I'll have some words with the Nature Boy later on this week.
Line should be going off this time by.
We see Wayne Pribnow and Rick Moon lined up there, and now they will go around the pace cars. The lights go out and take the lucky dog. Donnie Garrett pulls up to the high side. Obviously, Jeff Crivello has elected to keep the low side. Now, let's talk about who these guys have behind them, because you're not going to win this race without somebody pushing you. And you've got Sean Lockyer and Hank Middleton on the low side. You're going to have Bob Seminara and Joe Simpson restarting on the high side. And so it's going to come down to who's going to get a better push.
And both of those guys in the second row are good pushers. And then you have 2 guys in the third row that I know want to win. Hank loves super speedways. He does well. Joe's sponsoring the race. It's going to be fun to watch how those first 6 handle it. And then you've got Jerry Walters and DMAR, Richard Martin. He's always strong on the super speedways too. So I don't know how it's going to go, but it should be interesting.
It's all going to depend on this restart. If the middle line gets a good restart, by the time it gets to the back straightaway, it should be able to get a good dominant momentum working. If it gets a slow start, it's going to be the low line, and that's all it's going to be there to the end.
Looks like it's going to be a 6-lap shootout.
I think the 80 has to hope that they go 3 wide before the 77 clears him. I think that's his best bet.
So here we go. Dodge Charger pace car pulls off, heads down pit road. We're going to roll around this tri-oval and take this back to green. "24 cars on the lead lap. And here we go. Jeff Crivello gets a good start, but Donnie Garrett gets a good push from Bob Seminara. Joe Simpson all over Bob's bumper.
Scott Loutler is all over Jeff Crivello's.
Oh, Joe Simpson
moves
jumps
low
into the
side.
low line.
Might have been a good move for him.
That's going to allow Richard Martin and Grant Wesley, Chuck McClure. Grant Wesley now goes low. No, nobody wants to push Donnie Garrett.
Poor Donnie.
Yeah, he's got the 712, the 17's back there. He's got some help coming if it gets here soon enough.
I will guarantee you if the 2 clears the 77, he will go up to the high line.
Oh, and we're going 3 wide. Here comes Chuck McClure. I told him I was going to start calling him 3 wide Chuck. He is always the first one to go 3 wide.
Look for
That is
the
exactly
2 to go
what
on the
Crivello
high
wants
side.
to see.
Here we go. 4.5 laps to go. Will Joe
If the
Simpson
2 doesn't
pull in front
jump
of
up
Donnie
there, I
Garrett?
know the 141 will.
Now Donnie Garrett fighting back.
He's getting shoved all the way around the track right now. Bob is really pushing.
I'm not sure he's going to have enough. These 4 are in the front there. They're really locked together tight.
Grant Wesley back to the low line. Here comes Cyber Jones. As well as Brian Hogue.
That low lane's drifting enough off the bottom there. Trying to push that middle lane up, making it take a little longer way around the track.
And here comes Donnie Garrett fighting back. Awesome pushing from Bob Seminara and Richard Martin. If Donnie Garrett gets clear, will he go low?
I would bet he does. He'll go low and try to work both lines, I would think.
Here we are. Donnie Garrett's going to get his first bonus point of the night for leading a lap. Still just not quite clear of that low line. Cannot make the move. 3 laps to go.
Boy, the second cars in the low and middle are just pushing real hard. It's getting sketchy there at the front.
Here comes Brian Hogue, Chuck McClure, Carson Krenz forming a 3rd line. It's going to be 2 to go at the line.
I think Donnie had one opportunity to clear Jeff, and he didn't take it, and I think he's going to kick himself in the butt for not doing that.
Hank Middleton trying to hold it together. That bottom line breaks up a little bit. That might allow Donnie Garrett to make a move again. And Richard Martin actually jumps out of that middle line, moves high. Uh-oh, uh-oh.
Oh, big one.
Oh,
It's a big one.
And so we're watching. Race back to the line. Bob Seminara gets into Jeff Crivello.
Look at Cyber.
Here comes Cyber
Kept out
Jones.
clean.
Can Cyber get to him?
Got to run.
He's there.
He's going to run out of track.
Oh, so close.
So Jeff Crivello brings home the win. Cyber Jones second. Looks like Chris Hart rallies for a 3rd place finish.
Gordo got through it to 4th.
Doug Woolley, someone we didn't talk about all night, brings it home with a top 5.
And look where Donnie is. He's going to finish 1 spot ahead of Schilling, I believe, maybe 2.
That's a tough break. He was looking at gaining.
He called it earlier in the interview. You know, the one ended up finishing right in front of him with the wreck, and sure enough, the car's out of the race.
He was looking at gaining 25 points on him, and tough break, but great win by Jeff Crivello. That's it's not a pretty car, but either way, he's going to victory lane.
And Jeff has a habit of this. This is at least the third or fourth TV race I can remember him winning in the last 6-8 months, it seems like. So when the broadcast crew shows up, he puts on really good racing.
Looks like David Lawson comes back, finishes in 6th place. He was 4th in points coming into the night. So David Lawson is actually gonna, looks like, be our biggest points gainer tonight.
And if you noticed, 10th place Wayne Pribnow, he was the guy that got the lucky dog with about 7 to go. So he went from 25th lap down to top 10.
While I was watching that accident, it looked like Sean Lockyer may have lost the nose going in the corner, and just came up and made slight contact with Donnie and Bob.
Look at David Cannon. David Cannon also got a lucky dog tonight and finishes in 8th place.
Bones at the solid run.
Yeah, it looks like Donnie Garrett's going to finish 24th, 2 spots ahead of Brian Schilling.
That's just a killer in his championship quest.
Yeah, that was a brutal accident. There were some cars flying, riding the catch fence.
Even the two of Hank Middleton, which was in the lead almost at that restart, ended up back at 10th. 9th.
Looks like the big winners tonight are going to be David Lawson and Chuck McClure. They gained some good points. They're 3rd and 4th in points in the series.
Yeah, it'll tighten things up big time with 1 and 2 in the points, finishing outside the top 20.
Alright, so we're going to head over to our post-race victory lane. See if we can't get these podium finishers up here for some post-race interviews. Alright, so we're joined here by race winner Jeff Crivello and 3rd place finisher Chris Hart. Jeff, you did a hell of a job there on that race back to the line. How's it feel to pull off the victory here in the Jim Beam 200?
Well, it wasn't easy, and I know there was an incident right at the end, and I protected the inside, whether that goes against me or not, but it was still a good race.
Well, tell us about those last few laps leading up to the race back to the caution. We saw Donnie Garrett get a run on you a couple of times. It looked like he just wasn't able to clear you. Were you worried about the 77?
No, it started before the car, or actually before the restart. It took me 3 laps to decide who I wanted behind me and who I wanted pushing who, and I kept the inside, and I was just gonna let let it play out, and I knew he got the run on me and got ahead of me a little bit, but I knew some people behind him weren't gonna stay behind him. So I figured, well, this is my best shot.
It looked to me at one point like Donnie was clear, coming out of 4. Were you surprised he didn't jump down in front of you?
He did not have I don't think he had enough room. It would have been really close because he could have just got turned right in front of me. But then when I saw him kind of start to turn, I'm like, and I swear he hit my back bumper a little bit, and I kept it straight. So I have not yet seen the replay to see what really happened to him, and then I had to just hang on for dear life.
I don't think it was you. I think it was someone behind you washed up a little bit and clipped him. I don't think you two guys made any contact, at least, to cause that last wreck there. I think you're going to be in the clear.
Yeah, I just have to wait and see, because at 7:12 I know he gave me a bump and then he went into the wall. So I've yet to even see that one. So not sure how it's going to turn out, but overall it was actually a really good race.
Absolutely. Only a couple cautions tonight. Saw some green flag pit stops. Chris Hart in the 24 rounded out the podium tonight in 3rd place. Chris, you had a hell of a car for the first half of the race. Did you? I think you got caught up in a green flag pit stop incident.
Well, yeah, we got caught up in that, but we didn't get hit or nothing. And then on one of them other wrecks, a car slid down and hit me in the back, and I had a little bit of damage, so I had a hard time getting back up there.
Overall, how are you satisfied with a 3rd place finish tonight?
Actually, I am coming from 28th. I was 28th with about 11 to go, so I'm pretty happy to get 3rd. We had a good car. We led a lot. We were up front most of the night. And just want to thank Joe Simpson for sponsoring the broadcast and Rick Moon for putting up the prizes. And it was a good race overall. I had a lot of fun out there.
Speaking of Rick Moon, let's see if we can't ask him about that. Hey, Rick Moon, you're up in the booth. You got a copy?
Yes, I do.
Hey, Rick, we understand you were putting up a couple prizes tonight, and obviously Jeff Crivello won the race and is going to be choosing one of those prizes. What can you tell us about those prizes?
There are a couple of boxes of Wheaties, Dale Earnhardt Sr. Wheatie boxes from 1995.
Jeff, oh, go ahead.
Go ahead. So one's a honey frosted Wheaties, and the other one's regular Wheaties. They're unopened.
Jeff, I don't know if you have gotten a chance to see those boxes circulating around on Facebook. Did you know those prizes were up for grabs? Jeff Crivello?
Oh, sorry. Someone had to call into me, so I was distracted.
Jeff, did you know about those Dale Earnhardt Wheaties boxes being on the line tonight?
No, I didn't. Is that the ones that are like 30 years old?
That's the ones.
And don't eat them.
Oh no, I won't eat them. I'll put them next to the 3 collectible Earnhardt die casts that I have, so it'll look
Nice.
nice in between them all.
So there you go. Yeah, Jeff Crivello won one of those, and for those who didn't catch it, Brian Hogue was the leader at the end of lap 33, so he'll be bringing home that other Dale Earnhardt Wheaties box. And Joe Simpson in here as well. Joe, what do you have for Jeff Crivello for winning the race?
Yeah, Jeff, you won, besides what Mr. Rick Moon is getting you, I'm giving you a bottle of Jim Beam bold and spicy barbecue sauce.
Ooh. I have like 6 racks of ribs in the freezer that they make go good with.
Yeah, man.
All right, thank you, Joe, and thank everybody else. And broadcast, I'll have to replay it, and I'm sure you guys did a great job.
So there you have it. Jeff Crivello, our race winner. Rick Moon, Joe Simpson putting up some cool prizes tonight. Chris Hart rounding out the podium with a 3rd place finish. Cyber Jones was 2nd. He was not available for post-race interview, but congratulations to Cyber Jones for the 2nd place finish. This is Rolling Thunder Gaming, Joe Simpson Racing, the Speed Freak Series. Tonight we ran the Jim Beam 200 at Talladega. Obviously, thanks to Josh Metallic, Wiley Coate, Tim Nofsker for stepping in, and I mean, a 4-man broadcast. It's hopefully we're able to put a good show on for the viewers out there. I know Joe Simpson's dad was watching it and seemed like he enjoyed it. Despite the fact, Joe, I don't know if he told you, he's disappointed that you're driving a Ford.
Yeah, I saw the comments.
Also, shout outs to Sean Prime, Terry Bowman, David Cannon, owners of Rolling Thunder Gaming, RaceLM servers for providing the server over here. Gentlemen, everybody that's in the booth right now, does anybody else have any shout outs that you want to give?
Just want to thank you, Mark, for putting on the show. Appreciate it.
I just want to give another quick shout out to Cyber Jones. I know Jeff won the race, but 2nd place for Cyber is like a win. He comes out night after night, races, and sometimes he's not the fastest, but it did my heart good to see him bring home a 2nd place finish tonight.
Yeah, that was good to see him. I mean, he was actually catching me because he had momentum, but it was good to see him get a good finish.
I agree. And congrats on the win, Jeff. You ran a hell of a race.
Thank you.
Yep, good job.
All right, so there you go. Once again, we want to say thank you to all of our veterans out there, including Joe Simpson and Wiley Coate right here in the booth. Always giving thanks to our veterans. Joe, you'll have to check out the broadcast. Tonight we honored the military dogs, to go along with the race being named after your dog. And we hope everybody enjoyed the show, and we will see you again. I don't have the date in front of me, but we will see you again next month in March for another Joe Simpson Racing Speed Freaks live broadcast. Once again, Rolling Thunder Gaming Speed Freaks Series, Tuesday nights. Thank you for joining us for the show, and good night.
All right, thanks a lot, guys.
Good night, Mark.
Good job.